Okay, so we're unpacked, a bit of a temporary home for the grill at the moment. So we've got it on our lovely picnic table. So what I've got underneath, just an old towel here, just in case any of the what do you call it, fat? Any of the juices from the meat spit onto the wood. You obviously don't want that staining. And what we've got is we had a bit of heat-proof board that we had left over from the cabin build, so that's underneath just to protect that wood again. So yeah, at some point we'll be getting a proper kind of barbecue trolley for the unit. So we're plugged in and we're ready to go. So if you're not familiar with the process, then most of what I use is the grill function on the little dial here, and that's gonna preset to a high temperature for 16 minutes. We're going to pop the woodfire button, which gives us this little icon that means that the hopper is starting to heat. The hopper is this part of the unit here where we've got wooden pellets which will smoke and give us that lovely smoky flavour on our barbecue. So it's, although the ignition button's on, until we press start nothing's yet happening. So let's press start, and the heads up display is really useful, really user friendly. So that's telling us that we're going through stage 1, which is ignition. Ignition being our smoke. You can skip this bit, so if you just want barbecue food, or grilled food should I say, because you won't get that barbecue flavour, then you can skip the wood fire button and just go straight into the preheat. So the preheat is to get our grill plate up to temperature. As always, I've left the crisper basket in. We don't need that right now. And what that will do is it show us that actually the cook time stops whenever we've got the lid open. Well, actually that's not true. Join the preheat function. So you can, as with most barbecues, you can cook lid open, lid closed. If the lid's open, then that smokiness isn't going to be permeating around there, so and you're going to lose some of the heat as well. So one of the benefits of the unit, if not the benefit, is the speed and efficiency. So you saw there that we got a 16-minute cook time, prep time, preheat approximately 5 minutes. So in 20 minutes we will be eating perfectly barbecued chicken with very little preparation and very little clean down, because as you can probably see, hopefully, you can see that the unit's well made. It's got good levels of finish, making it quite easy to clean down, particularly the grill plate, because barbecues can be an absolute nightmare. You've got stuff literally baked onto those grills. I know with those ones they say you can actually burn it off, so just turn your heat right up and it will burn off any excess food that's on there. Yeah, with this you don't really have that, so what you've got is a non-stick grill plate which is detachable, which I'll just lift the lid very quickly. So that unit comes off completely, and you can put it in soapy water, hot soapy water. So obviously a good idea is, once you've cooked your food, is leave the lid open, let your grill cool down for a bit, and then it's good to go for washing. I also recommend taking the hopper tray out. So within this here, you can probably see there's a little metal tray which actually detracts from the hopper unit. So I tend to put that somewhere, obviously, where it won't create a fire, but where those will cool down, so I can put the unit back in with the hopper empty, ready for the new cook. So we've got these very sturdy plastic carry handles at the side of the unit. So once you take the unit out of the box, you will need to attach those. It's just 2 screws on each handle, and they are incredibly sturdy. You can feel the good quality of the dials as you turn them around. There's a couple of different functions on there which I've gone through in previous videos, but it should be fairly self-explanatory, and you can adjust on the fly. So you have got preheat functions which are actually really good for most stuff that you would use day to day, but you can increase, decrease your temperature through the temperature button. Similarly, you can either reduce or extend your time. You can stop the grill at any point, and you can boost your wood fire flavour technology at any point, because the actual, so let's just, you can hopefully see the smoke starting to come out of there. That's completely different to your grill unit. So I may have mentioned on other videos that sometimes what I do is I actually leave that going while the food's resting. So after the cook time, you can still leave it on the grill. There's obviously going to be a little bit of residual heat, but it's not going to char your food any further. And it just lets the meat rest and get some more smoke into there, which I think is really nice. Yeah, we got a good finish, good solid handle for the lid, all easy wipe down surfaces, and you can see that we've just clicked over to our preheat function. So now that we've got our smoker going, that griddle is now going to get up to temperature. Once that's done, we're going to get a prompt to add our food. So what I'll do is I usually kind of transition through the bits rather than do the whole of the cook. So a 20-minute video would be quite a long video and a lot of time for me to fill. But I will go through the first bits, the preheat, till we get to add food. I'll show you our chicken going on, and I'll show you it done. So all that happens in between that is that you get a prompt to flip your food halfway through the cook, and that will literally say flip on this heads up unit down here, heads up display, or whatever the terminology is. So it is a very, very user-friendly unit, because it's doing all the work for you. So with a traditional coal barbecue, you've got to wait for those coals to get up to temperature, and the tendency is, certainly for me, is to get a bit too excited and put your meat on whilst it's scorching hot, and what you end up with is charcoal burgers that are raw in the middle. Other foods are obviously available for barbecues. And it's kind of like a waiting game, isn't it? Is that what I like about this is if you spontaneously decide that you're going to have a barbecue. So, for example, at the moment, it probably doesn't pick up that well, but believe it or not, it's mid or even late July in the UK, and it's not exactly cracking flags. So, your conventional barbecues almost have to have quite a lot of pre-planning, so you get your barbecue up to speed. As soon as it gets to temperature, down come those raindrops. So because of that, I switched over to a traditional gas barbecue, but I do think you lose something in the flavour there. So it's almost like cooking in the oven. You think you're getting a barbecue, which you are, and I like the idea of outdoor cooking, but it's a lot more cleaning. So if you're going to put it on a grill tray or something, then put it on the barbecue, then yeah, you're not really getting the benefit of any of the barbecue. This unit is going to give you the lovely char, the smoky taste if you use the woodfire unit, or the button. If you're a bit more traditional and just want really quick, tasty food, then yeah, it's good for that as well. And obviously you've got the added bonus of those other functions. So I know the air fryer units, they come separately because we have one. We've used it for a couple of different things. It's quite versatile. So we've used the smoker function for some gammon. Some of that was actually just shop bought frozen gammon, believe it or not. Another one we did marinate and give it a bit of TLC before we cooked it. We've cooked, let me think, skewers on one of the videos, even pizza. So what I've had in the bag was the flat grill pan. So yeah, I made some pizza dough, and 2, maybe 3 minutes at a really high heat, and you got wood-fired tasty pizzas. Obviously the tricky part there is getting your pizza from where you've prepped it onto the unit. So if you're interested, do check out that video, because there's a couple of really useful techniques there, so you don't end up with your pizza on the floor instead of either on your plate or inside your stomach, where it belongs. So we should be getting up to our add food prompt soon. So I wanted to capture this bit in real time, because there's quite a lot of videos where I understand in this day and age it's a lot about consumption and quickness, and I'm the same. So I like a bit of a balance. I like some of the videos to be really snappy. Sometimes I just like them as a bit of background, and then other times it's good to see an end-to-end process. And yeah, the videos that I've uploaded have been getting an increasing amount of views. I've got some comments on there, and some lovely subscribers. So yeah, if you can, just take a second to subscribe to the channel. That really helps me out. It's not anything to do with sales or anything like that. I'm not coming up with, you know, cordon bleu recipes. I'm just going through normal cooks on the Ninja woodfire, which hopefully help people out. There we are. So we're ready to add food. We have got a lovely smoking grill, and bear with me because I am doing this one-handed. And one of the very useful tips that I got, let me just try and get that in the frame, was to film in landscape. It's a bit more tricky to hold my phone, but it does make for much better videos. Okay, so the other thing that came up was that actually my commentary wasn't very loud over the top of the grill, so I'm going to try and talk up a bit, but bear in mind I am in my neighbourhood. I'm not quite the world famous YouTuber just yet. So you probably noticed that I'm not actually putting these skin side down, which is what I had done with most of the other cooks. And that's because what I found is because there's quite a high sugar content in most of the marinades, it's catching pretty much straight away. And although that char does add to the flavour, I just found that actually putting the meat down the other side, it doesn't affect it, because we're going to flip the food halfway through, and we want that crispy chicken, don't we? We want the crispy skin, that's part of it. So I've used chicken thighs for this one. If you're familiar with the channel, you see that's quite a popular option for us, and chicken legs, because one, they're fairly inexpensive, and two, any meat that you cook on the bone is going to be, it's going to carry the flavour a little bit better. So a little bit more effort in the eating of it, but what I did find when we did cook some chicken breasts is I would just keep a little bit of an eye on the preset times. It's 16 minutes, you're probably just into drying out territory, so I just kept a bit more of a closer eye on those, and maybe turn them more than once, because you haven't got any bone in there. But I've got to say, everything that I've cooked on here has been pretty easy, pretty flawless. If you want to have a laugh, then do check out the bacon and eggs video, because that was going to be a breakfast of champions. So I was going to get all motivated and get up early one day and get some bacon and eggs on the griddle pan. So there was a couple of lessons that I learnt there, is that one, start with the unit on a very stable surface, otherwise gravity will get you. So the eggs, don't about sunny side over, I think they went south at one point, so they ended up more like scrambled eggs than fried eggs. And if you want them to look a bit posh, I would invest in some of those metal circles so that the egg stays put whilst it's cooking. And also, again, just keep an eye on them and flip them as soon as you can. The bacon was all delicious. It wasn't overcooked. It just didn't look very presentable. So it wasn't quite what I intended. It wasn't quite the M&S advert that you see on TV. Obviously, other food stores are available. So yeah, I am not a Gordon Ramsay, so there's not many swear words in my videos. I don't think there are any. I am not Jamie Oliver, or not a chef at all. So I'm not purporting to be some grill champion, just a regular man of the people enjoying a barbecue and sharing it with you guys. obviously I then get to eat the food that I cook, which is a welcome bonus. And I try and keep the editing light, so any kind of formats, things that you'd like to see, do add those into the comments, because I've got a bit of a mixture of where I've captured the cooks and then done a bit of commentary that I've dubbed separately. I've tried to capture some of it live, and as I say, hopefully there's a bit of a mixture on there of some nice smooth transitions where you just get the money shots, and a bit of kind of me talking through the process as a whole. So I'm going to struggle obviously to keep this interesting while that timer counts down another 12 minutes. So what I will do is I will do one lovely transition to when we're ready to flip. Welcome back, lovely people. We are at flip stage, which was lovingly pointed out to us there by the ninja. So whilst I was away, I've give the tongs a wash because they touched raw meat, and got a plate ready. Are we ready for the halfway reveal? Nope. Pull the tension. So look, we can see where the smoke has gone through that meat. It's taken on a lovely colour. Let's get these flipped over. Got a lovely bit of charage on the bottom there. That one had already flipped over. Bit cheeky. And then get these turned over. I'm not sure. Oh, there we go. And last one, last but not least. And that leaves us with 6.5 minutes of cook time left. So I'm not sure, people have different schools of thought on barbecues. So I remember reading once that it's probably woks rather than barbecue, so I might be getting myself confused, but they say that leaving that in there creates the flavour, which just, I don't know, it's never felt hygienic to me. So I know some people say, well, actually you don't need to clean much of the unit, so I just thought I'd talk over that a little bit while we wait for our chicken to finish off, so that we've pretty much then captured an end-to-end cook in real time. So what I find myself is that I agree that the top of the unit here, that's where all the smoke's going to be captured. So it's not in contact with food. Do you need to make it, beautifully clean after each cook? In my opinion, no. What I do is I get a bit of kitchen roll, get some spray on there, and just give it a quick wipe down. So there are seals around it, which obviously they're worth a quick clean. I wouldn't then, which I'll lift the lid actually, just so if you see the bit underneath, that's where the fan is and stuff like that. And yeah, I'm not sure that I would put, or it wouldn't really be a benefit to then scrub that for hours after each cook, because the smoke's just going to go straight back in there with our next cook. So for me personally, I give it a wipe down. It's going to be hygienic, because some of the fat, or the juices, let's call them, because fat sounds really unhealthy, some of the juices may drip down, so it's worth a quick wipe down. The grill plate, as I say, that comes off completely, and I'll show you, probably won't pick up very well on the video, but I might put a little bit on the end if the video is not too long. But essentially the grill plate's got a bit of a runoff which goes into a tray at the back of the unit, down there, and that's going to capture most of the juices that you don't want in your bloodstream, but cholesterol inducing juices, we'll call them. So yeah, I think for me, a grill plate, once it's cooled down, as I said earlier in the video, then a bit of hot soapy water, and you'd be surprised, even if it looks like it's caked on, I think that's a technical phrase, it will come off surprisingly easy, so don't be tempted to scrub that stuff off because you will remove the non-stick. I did see on the website that Ninja have those extra bits, or even replacements if you like, and they're actually, well, in my opinion, reasonably priced. So yeah, if you do get to the point where you've kind of taken all the non-stick off, you could replace it without having the cost of replacing the whole grill. But I mean, that for me is one of the benefits, is not having to stand there with a wire brush for 20-30 minutes after I've just eaten a lovely barbecue and I just want to be sat down. So other bits, carry handles, you can see there's a bit of splash on there. I would obviously give those a wipe down. And the handle on the front, the eagle-eyed amongst you when I was doing the reveal will see that I got my chicken stained hands on there. Made that a bit dirty, but that just all wipes down really easily. So it does tend to cool down quite quickly, the unit, so by the time I've eaten, I can probably come outside and it will be cooled down and ready for the clean down, and then I can put it away nice and neat, ready for the next cook. Quick word on the pellets. So with the unit, when you purchase it, you will get 2 bags of pellets. I think they went for about 10 cooks, so you can reuse the pellets if not all the pellets have caught, which let's just have a little look at where we're up to. So there they are, pretty much cinder blocks now, which is good because that means that they've given us the flavour. Those weren't fresh in the unit, those were actually from the last cook, so I got 2 cooks out of those. So I think they're good value for money because it is not a fuel, it's not the cooking medium. With a lot of pizza ovens, you've got to put loads of pallets in there or lots of wood, and it becomes quite costly. So that is relatively inexpensive. You get the hopper, which fills it up to exactly the right amount. And I, after those were used, actually invested in quite a big box of pellets, which just to see the difference between the branded Ninja pellets and the non-branded, which, if I'm honest, could I tell the difference? Not really, because what they were made up of was essentially the same types of woods, so maple wood, cedar woods, that give the same sort of flavour. Burn time, pretty decent too, so they're pretty good quality, and I'm not an expert, I'm probably making it sound like I'm more of an expert than I am, but I think depending on the quality of the pellets, if it's like bulked out with rubbish, then that's going to affect your food because you're going to be putting plastic into your food, which you don't want. So yeah, I've got a big box. I reckon that's going to last probably, I don't know, maybe 50, 100 barbecues, which sounds really excessive. I mean, it is a big box, but it was relatively inexpensive. So what I do is I just go out and get a few scoops before I'm ready to cook. So yeah, all in all, once you've got the outlay of the cost, then that's pretty much it. It's an electric unit. It's actually more efficient, heats up quicker than your conventional oven. Not really got a bad word to say about the unit, which shows in the videos I've uploaded. So yeah, I'm not sponsored by Ninja in any shape, way or form, and I have managed to talk, believe it or not, until the cook has finished. So the Ninja tells us we are done. So as I said earlier in the video, we could quite happily just turn that off and say end, but the hopper is completely separate, so that's still smoking away there. So you could leave your food to rest and let it take on some more smoky flavour. I'm going to call that one done, and let's have a look. So we have lovely tender chicken with a nice char on the outside, and I will end the video there by saying a thank you. You made it to the end of the video. Even if you didn't, the views are always welcome. Really appreciate people taking time out of their busy days to watch them. Keep your eyes peeled for more videos. See you in the next one.